In this video, I'll be discussing 10 top wines that sell for right around $50 per bottle, give or take. First up is a compelling value from an excellent Bordeaux producer. This is not a classified Bordeaux producer because it did not exist at the time of the 1855 classification of Bordeaux, but it often produces wines that rival the quality of classified growth Bordeaux. For example, the 2022 vintage is one of the best vintages ever produced by this outstanding producer. While the majority of Chateau Gloria's vineyard holdings are located in Saint-Julien, they even have a few parcels that are located in Pauillac that they're able to include in their top wine. The highly acclaimed 2022 vintage is a blend that consists of 50% Cabernet Sauvignon, 35% Merlot, and it also has smaller amounts of Petit Verdot and Cabernet Franc. This excellent wine features flavors and aromas of blackberry, graphite, cedar, and mixed spice. This is a wine that will definitely need at least a few more years to come around, but it certainly offers tremendous quality at this $50 price point. Pontet Canet fans will also be interested to learn that in 2022, they brought in a consultant who used to work for Pontet Canet and who is assisting Chateau Gloria with its conversion to biodynamic farming. There's probably not a week that goes by where I don't hear someone say that they don't like Chardonnay and simply don't drink it because they don't like oaky, buttery wines. This next top wine, however, is a Chardonnay that's neither buttery nor oaky. Better yet, it comes from a top producer that's been making consistently outstanding wine for decades. It's definitely impressive and enjoyable on release, but it's also capable of aging for decades. In fact, when I visited this winery, I tried the 2002 vintage a couple years ago, and that Chardonnay was still drinking extraordinarily well. So much so that I bought a couple bottles from their library. Mayacamas is located high atop Mount Veeder in Napa Valley. They have 5 blocks of Chardonnay that are planted at between 550 and 640 meters above sea level. The highly acclaimed Mayacamas Chardonnay is not buttery because they don't use malolactic fermentation at all, and it is malolactic fermentation that can contribute some buttery flavors and aromas to Chardonnay. Likewise, it's not oaky either because they use only 4% new French oak to mature their wines. I toured their barrel room and can confirm that they have primarily old neutral oak that they use for their maturation. This also helps to keep their costs down, which is one reason that they're able to charge such a reasonable price for this incredible Chardonnay. This is a mineral-driven wine with flavors and aromas of Meyer lemon, saline, mixed spice, and blossom. It has an incredibly long, crisp finish. If you haven't tried this wine yet, I would highly encourage you to do so. When it comes to investing, you oftentimes hear the mantra, buy low and sell high. Well, that certainly applies to wine collecting as well. Of course, many people in both wine and investments do the exact opposite, paying up in chasing wines that are selling for extraordinarily high prices and ignoring some extremely high-quality wines that are practically being given away. In my view, there has never been a better time to purchase Sauternes. Sauternes is incredibly special. It ages effortlessly for decades, and so it makes an excellent birth year wine as well. And yet prices are ridiculously low. This category is extremely beleaguered, and many of the producers are shifting production to dry white wines just because they can't sell their Sauternes. Sauternes is a fantastic way to end a meal, whether you're enjoying it with dessert or with cheese. But it's also an extremely versatile companion with other courses as well, not just foie gras, but it also goes well with roast chicken and a number of other dishes too. The next top wine for $50 a bottle comes from a historic producer that's located extremely close to the legendary Chateau de Cam. This is a wine that flirts with perfection, yet can be purchased for less than $50 per bottle for a half bottle. And that's really all you need for a Sauternes. This is so because a little bit of Sauternes goes a long ways, and so even if we open a half bottle at the end of the night, we're capable of sharing that with 8 to 12 friends, and there's even a little bit left over. The 2022 Chateau Suduiraut Sauternes is 100% Semillon. You'll find that Semillon is the dominant grape in the majority of high-quality Sauternes. This wine is extraordinarily complex with flavors and aromas that include apricot, nectarine, citrus, almond, and mixed spice. While it is certainly a sweet wine, That sweetness is balanced beautifully by abundant acidity. There's an extraordinarily long finish. This is an absolutely phenomenal effort from Suduiraut, so if you'd like to give Sauternes a chance, this would be an excellent choice. I've also been thinking about doing a longer dedicated video on Sauternes, so if that's a video that you'd be interested in, please let me know in the comments below. The next top wine for $50 a bottle comes from a producer that has been making excellent wine for a number of years now, but whose wines very much fly under the radar. This is a producer that's located on Bordeaux's right bank in Saint-Emilion, and they have an excellent location right on the famous limestone plateau. This is a producer that was acquired back in 2004, and the new owners invested a substantial amount of resources into reinvigorating the vineyards and completely overhauling the winemaking facilities. I visited around 2013 or so, and it's an extremely impressive facility, and definitely a producer worth visiting if you get a chance. In the vineyard, they use organic and biodynamic practices. This next wine is another wine from the outstanding 2022 vintage. This is wine that's 85% Merlot and 15% Cabernet Franc. The 2022 Chateau Fonplegade is one of the very best vintages ever from this underrated estate. This is wine that matured for 16 months in 50% new French oak, 30% oak that had one use, and 10% of both concrete egg and amphora. This highly acclaimed wine has a dark fruit profile with flavors and aromas that include blackcurrant, plum, black cherry, graphite, flint, cedar, and mixed spice. Next up is a wine that comes from a family-owned estate that was founded back in 1976. The founder's sons took over about 20 years ago, and they've been doing an excellent job. They've gradually expanded the vineyard holdings and now have an impressive 37 hectares of vines in the prestigious Chateauneuf de Pape area in Southern Rhone. So the next top wine for $50 a bottle is the highly acclaimed 2023 Domaine Durieu Chateauneuf de Pape Blanc, Cuvee Lucile Avril. This enjoyable white wine is a blend that consists of 50% Grenache Blanc, 40% Roussanne, and 10% Picpoul. They mature this wine for 8 months in stainless steel before it's released. This wine features flavors and aromas of peach, blossom, and white pepper. I like it because it has surprising acidity for a wine from the Southern Rhone. This is a wine that I found pairs extremely well with a variety of foods, including mature cheeses, certain types of fish, and even certain Asian cuisine without too much spice, such as drunken noodles, which is one of my favorites. The next top wine for $50 a bottle is the product of a joint venture between the owners of legendary first growth Bordeaux producer Chateau Mouton Rothschild and top Chilean producer Concha y Toro. Almaviva is a producer that's located in the Maipo Valley in Chile, about 90 minutes south of Santiago. Their top wine is consistently outstanding, but sells for around $150 or more per bottle, but they also have a second wine that offers compelling value at around the $50 price point. I recently had a chance to taste the 2022 Almaviva EPU at the James Suckling Great Worlds of Wine event in New York, and I was impressed with it. I thought it delivers exceptional value at this price point. This wine is a Cabernet Sauvignon dominant blend that has 84% Cabernet Sauvignon, 10% Carmenere, and it has smaller percentages of Merlot, Cabernet Franc, and Petit Verdot. This is a wine that matures for 12 months in only 10% new French oak, so it's definitely a wine that's designed for early consumption. For that reason, it makes an excellent cellar defender, and it's a terrific choice for those of you who don't want to wait to enjoy your wines. I'm a strong believer that champagne is not just for celebrations. While I enjoy champagne year-round, I tend to drink even more of it during hot summer months like we're experiencing currently. So the next top wine for $50 a bottle comes from a historic champagne producer that was founded way back in 1584. In fact, they lay claim to being the oldest wine house in Champagne. This is the Gossett Grand Reserve Brut. Gossett Grand Reserve Brut is an excellent wine year after year, and you really can't go wrong with it for any of their disgorgements. The current disgorgement of the Gossett Grand Reserve Brut was well received by critics, as it has the impressive 2018 vintage as its base. The Gossett Grand Reserve Brut is an excellent choice for 3 primary reasons. First, They use extended aging. They mature this champagne for at least 4, sometimes 5 years on the lees before it's released. This lees aging contributes a number of the autolytic descriptors that I really enjoy with champagne, such as the toasty, bready, brioche type descriptors that add a lot of complexity. Second, like Lançon and a small number of other champagne producers, Gossett tends to suppress malolactic fermentation, which helps to preserve acidity in their champagnes. This is becoming increasingly important, particularly with some of the warmer vintages in Champagne recently. Lastly, of course, $50 is an excellent price for a champagne of this quality. This wine is equal parts Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and there's 10% Meunier as well. In addition to the autolytic descriptors discussed earlier, you can expect flavors and aromas of citrus, stone fruit, blossom, and white pepper. There's ample acidity and a long, crisp finish. If you're interested in wine recommendations, wine collecting strategies, and learning more about wine, please do subscribe to my channel. I've been collecting wine for more than 15 years and also have a level 4 diploma from the DipWSET. So I have both formal certification as well as substantial practical knowledge from the School of Hard Knocks. Another region that I think offers compelling value for the price these days is Alsace. Alsace is located in the northeast part of France, close to the German border, and they're particularly well known for producing a number of world-class white wines. One of the top producers in Alsace is Domaine Weinbach. So the next top wine for $50 a bottle is the 2022 Domaine Weinbach Cuvee Colette Riesling. The fruit for this wine comes from biodynamically grown fruit from old vines that are located towards the bottom of the Grand Cru Schlossberg site. This wine is incredibly elegant and precise. It has 13.5% alcohol by volume, and even though it's a Riesling, it is bone dry. This wine has flavors and aromas of peach, blossom, and wet stone, has abundant acidity, and a long, lingering, complex finish. Just a beautiful wine. Back in 1976, the Venge family made a savvy decision to purchase a 17-acre vineyard in the Oakville district that was planted to Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. In 2008, their son, Kirk, acquired full ownership of Venge Vineyards, and he's carried on the family's winemaking tradition. Kirk is a talented winemaker that makes a number of high-quality wines, both from estate fruit as well as some fruit that's sourced from high-quality vineyards from throughout Napa Valley. I've had a chance to taste a number of the Venge wines over the past few years at Prevere Napa Valley, as Kirk definitely makes the rounds and is very generous about sharing his wines with those who attend. I've been extremely impressed with those wines, many of which sell for much higher prices than those contained in this video. Fortunately, however, Venge also has a 2022 Venge Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon that's called Silencio. This is a wine that I found selling for as little as $50 per bottle from retail sites. You can also get it for $65 per bottle directly from the winery. This wine is notable because it's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. Certainly some of the other grapes, such as Merlot, aren't nearly as expensive, so oftentimes the wines that sell for the lower price points contain a healthy blend of fruit other than Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a vibrant wine with pronounced aromatic intensity and flavors and aromas that include blackcurrant, blackberry, coffee, and mixed herbs and spice. There's an impressive finish for a wine at this price point, and this is a wine you can enjoy immediately, but it will certainly age for a few years with no problem as well. As it turns out, I can't count very well. That was only 9 wines, not 10. My poor math skills are one reason I became an attorney. Nevertheless, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more of my top wine recommendations at the $50 price point, be sure to check out this video that's linked above.